Yeah, it could be a long time till we get. I might be getting a bit too excited. I think Xenoblade 3 can come out. It's coming. There is a Xenoblade 3 coming. It just could be a very long time away.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Hey guys, this is going to be a quick unscripted video, so I am probably going to be a little rough in the recording, but, well, it's finally happened. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This was always going to be a matter of when, not if, and, well, that question of when has finally been answered. It's September this year, which is a bit earlier than I was expecting. Obviously, December this year will be the 5-year anniversary of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 coming out in the in the West, and so obviously it's it would kind of be poetic to release this game then, but obviously it's going to be ready in September, which excitement is through the roof. It's going to be ready in time for my birthday, which will be fun. Just thought I should do a quick little breakdown of the trailer. Obviously I wasn't able to do a live reaction for this thing, but I feel like I should have a little look at the trailer and give my own thoughts. As you might have noticed, a while ago I uploaded a video labelled 5 things I wanted in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and basically want to have a little look at that and compare what I said in that video to what we're seeing here. So without further ado, let's go to the start of the video. And so basically we start the video off by seeing, oh sorry, the sound's not on.
Fighting in order to live.
So going to the start of the video, we see our protagonist, who I believe's name is Noah, basically playing some kind of flute. I don't know, like initially when I saw it, I thought it was just a character trait, but a lot of characters are seen throughout the trailer to be playing flutes at multiple points, which makes you wonder if it's a major item in the story. In fact, maybe it's the new Blade item that will justify the game's name title if you've seen my video on that topic. Very interesting to see what this is. Like, is it possible that this flute later turns into his weapon? As we see later on, we see them carrying weapons. We don't ever see the flute do anything outside of them playing it, so it's still unsure exactly what the purpose of these flutes are, but obviously hopefully it'll be revealed as we probably get closer on.
Fighting in order to live.
And as we see with the voice acting, very, we'll say it's a classic British voice acting, but it does sound a bit like Shulk. I haven't checked with the voice actors yet to see if who's voice acting yet. I'm not sure those details have been released yet. But by the way, this shot here,
that's the way of our world.
That is such a homage to the opening scene from the original Xenoblade with the humans running and, that's the way of the world. And, yeah, that's such a Xenoblade callback. And obviously if you look at this giant mech here, that very much looks a lot like a face. It has the sort of the silver, almost skull-like design with the red eyes. It very much looks like almost like a repurposed face mech on. It'll be very interesting to see what these are. We'll get a bit more into that later on mechs in the game. As I look at what mechs to be playable.
What would possess you to side
So
with
here
them?
we get to see basically what looks to be the new sort of Monado or Aegis-like weapon being wielded by our protagonist Noah as he fights presumably what the main female protagonist of the game, which is her name is sorry, I'm just trying to find it on the list here, as Mio, as that's I believe her name, is going to be Mio, and as you can see she's using the twin rings, a similar weapon used by Nia in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I have heard that I believe this game is actually a dual protagonist game, which got me very excited because I love dual protagonist games. Big fan of Tales of Xillia and Fire Emblem Echoes. So if this is a game with a male and female protagonist, I am really excited. So we see they're basically fighting. So it looks like basically there'll be like 2 teams of which characters come from the 2 different countries of this nation of this world. So there's I forgot what the names of the 2 countries were. That's right, it's Kiev, which I believe is where the male protagonist Noah is from, and Agnes, which is where the female protagonist Mio is from. And I presume their story will see the 2 parties of 3 probably come together. I'm not sure. So there are currently.
I saw this coming.
So we've seen here. So
You're not enemies now.
So it looks like there's about 6 playable characters currently announced. I'm not sure if that's going to be the whole cast or not. But obviously we get a few look at some of them here. We get
Fighting because there are enemies to kill.
here we go. Yep, him. This is Lance.
Side with them.
We're fighting
Sorry, you're gonna
because
play
there are
something.
enemies to kill.
I refuse.
Yeah, so this is Lance. I can't really get a good clear still of him, unfortunately.
I saw this
That
coming.
is that girl is Senna, who looks like
You're him.
I knew it. I saw this coming.
You're
now.
not enemies
Ooh.
now.
This guy looks very much like Van Damme, and I'm probably going to guess right now he probably is a guy called Van Damme, judging by how the Xenoblade games basically always put in a guy called Van Damme in every game. So I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being this game's version of Van Damme, which will be interesting because he looks almost identical to the last game's version of Van Damme, although they kind of did that back in Xenosaga, so it's not unheard of.
You're not enemies now.
Don't know who this character is, but again we get more of the flute playing.
Try
Things a
to
big
move forward.
big deal on flute playing.
So snuffing little do
We have been making a few jokes on how the male protagonist looks a lot like Yuri Lowell from Tales of Vesperia. If he's anywhere near as good as Yuri is, then we've got a great protagonist on our hands. So here we get some terrain shots of, okay, you can't have a Xenoblade trailer without just watching characters walking around. But interestingly, we see, don't know where that is, but we definitely see some more familiar locations. Actually, so yeah, this definitely looks like almost a distant fingertip from, obviously, the Mechanics, the Fallen Arm. We could see the mouth of the Orion Titan up there. The rest of this plane's coming. Of course, the Mechanics' sword, very iconic. That looks... I forgot where that is. That's definitely a wing of something. I'm not sure if it's a Telethia or it's one of the Titans. I forget which one. Obviously, again, the Fallen Arm here. We can see the... probably the earlier shot was taken from up there on the distant fingertip. This area looks similar to one of the towns in Xenoblade. I can't remember if it looks like the Moradane capital, which I have forgotten the name of, unfortunately. But definitely has that Xenoblade 2 look to it. Yeah, this craft is very new. I don't know what this looks like.
You're gonna defeat the
So, looks like there's interestingly, it looks like they've added in some new forms of transportation. Like looks like you can grind your way along rails and things like that, which looks very interesting. That area looks very much like the.
only way you're gonna defeat the
what is
real
it?
enemy.
It looks very much like the Torn Titan.
filling up these flickering clocks in our eyes.
Oh yes, so the interesting one, the new Nopon characters, which now have funky hairdos. I'm not sure if that's actually their hair or a wig, or if it's going to be the situation where everyone claims it's a wig, but they claim it's a funky hairdo. I don't know, but they are carrying weapons by the looks of it. Will we have playable Nopon? Probably. Both Xenoblade 1 and 2 obviously allowed us to play as a Nopon character. X didn't, and neither did Torna, but I suspect with this one being a main series numbered entry, I suspect that we probably will at least have playable Nopon. Whether or not it's this character, another character, or both these characters, I don't know, so we'll have to see where that comes out. One of the interesting things I've been looking at is this new female Hyentia character by the name of Iune? Iune? We got our first brunette Hyentia. Another thing else I wanted to mention is her outfit. It's a lot more modern looking, a lot more, not so much modern, but contemporary looking, like someone's wearing it today, which actually leads me to wonder, because we always seen this game as definitely going to be a combination of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, but with outfits like that, it almost looks like we could be even getting some Xenoblade Chronicles X influence, and there is quite a bit of Xenoblade Chronicles X influence throughout this trailer, which has led me to wonder, like, are they going to link Xenoblade Chronicles X into this world? I'm not sure.
Replace the friends we've lost. The flame clock. It has to go.
Oh, we might notice here, so, yes, his sword is very red, although, to be honest, they haven't really shown off his sword. Like, both Xenoblade 1 and 2 really like to show off their swords, but we haven't really seen his sword in like a clear shot in this trailer. Oh yes, we have to also mention the fact that Mio has a core crystal on her chest, so clearly she is a blade, well in this case a flesh eater because it's a corrupted core. So blades are indeed in this game, but it doesn't look like they'll be playing anywhere near the same that they were like in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Here we get to see our first very familiar looking figure. A Hyentia wearing a mask who looks surprisingly like Melia. I think I myself suspect she's Melia. It's possible she could be someone else, but with those sort of hair curls and that sort of body posture, it looks almost exactly like Melia. So it's possible that she is in this game, which would leave you to ask the question of how long after Xenoblade Chronicles 1 this is, which is definitely going to be an interesting question to ask.
To bore this world.
Speaking of Melia, we also have this character here who looks very much like Nia. You can literally see the same sort of ear design that Nia has, obviously, and the outfit looks very similar to what she wore in her blade form in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So it looks like Melia and Nia might potentially be the leaders of the two nations in this world. And of course, you can't have a Xenoblade trailer without a long establishing shot at the end. Definitely, I'm very interested to see where they're going here with this new game. So it definitely looks it's obviously merging the two worlds of Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 into this new universe. Unsure how they're doing that, because obviously both Xenoblade 1 and 2 story ended with the universes being in separate. They were still in separate universes. There was never a universe merging event at the end of either of those two games. So what's brought these two worlds together is going to be, hopefully, will be explained in this game. Another thing I'm also kind of interested to know is can we climb the sword? Like, it will be so exciting if there is literally a narrow path you have to work your way slowly up to get all that to the sword, and you get this incredible view at the top of the sword, because that would be fun. That'd be one of the first things I'd want to do if I ever got as soon as I got this game, would be to just climb all the way to the top of that sword. So that's Xenoblade Chronicles 3's announcement trailer. Definitely very excited for this game. So how does this stack up with my wants for the series? Well, obviously for the more mature story, it definitely looks like we have a much older cast than we did in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is definitely a welcome return to the series. So hopefully that will mean we'll have a much more serious story. As for the mechs, now, while there wasn't any sign of playable mechs, there was one interesting scene, which was around here somewhere. If I can find it. It was here somewhere. The characters were on a boat. I can't remember where it was. Now,
Sword march. The land pierced by a great sword.
come on.
It's the only way you're gonna defeat the real.
So they're running
enemy.
they're grinding on one point. There. Yeah, so they are riding a boat in that scene. So it's clear that there is pilotable vehicles. Could that mean pilotable mechs? I don't know. So it is very much likely that they are finally going to give us some pilotable vehicles. Whether or not it's mechs, I don't know. So it's possible mechs could be in this game. However, I feel like if there were playable mechs in this game, they'd make a bigger deal of them in the trailer. I don't think it'd be something they'd want to hide. So as much as it's cool that there's a pilotable boat in this part, unfortunately, I think the mech desire isn't going to be met. As for the other big one, which I think it was a controversial opinion, was the fact that I didn't want this game being a massive crossover event between Xenoblade 1 and 2. It doesn't quite... It appears that it is somewhat going to be a big crossover event between 1 and 2, although with that being said, it's a new cast. I suspect the events of Xenoblade 1 and 2 will be treated much more as legends rather than old story that happened just before. So it will probably be very easy to follow. Well, it's a Xeno story. It's never going to be easy to follow, but it should be relatively simple to understand, to follow the legends, and it won't rely too heavily on you playing the previous games to understand what's going on. So I feel like it's a somewhat of a middle ground. Tetsuya Takahashi, the creator of the Xeno series, has come out after this trailer and basically said he wants this game to be open to fans of Xenoblade 1, 2, and new fans. He very much wants this to be a coming together of all the series. Unfortunately, there is one issue with the game. I think some people, I know a few Xenoblade 1 fans have, and that is the fact that Saito is returning to design the characters. So Masatsuki Saito, who designed the characters in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, is returning here, which does unfortunately leave the characters and world looking very Xenoblade Chronicles 2-esque. Xenoblade Chronicles 2-esque, which I can know will annoy a few people, because obviously with the last three main series Xeno games, we've always had a very different art style. So 1 looked very different to X, and X looked very different to 2, but this game doesn't exactly stand out much against 2. With that being said, it is still again on the Switch, so it kind of makes sense that it's going to look a bit like 2. It's on the same system. But I can understand other people say maybe wanting another artist to take control to give a new visual style to this game. However, with that being said, I'm kind of happy Saito's calmed down a bit with the crazy character designs. I think everyone's had their jokes they made about Pyra and Mithra's costumes. It definitely looks like the characters have much more reasonable costumes in this game. None of the crazy outlandish stuff yet. Yes, I believe I've basically covered everything. Obviously, the one other big issue I have with Xeno games is their slow starts, but we won't really know about how slow this game starts until pretty much when it comes out. So until then, I hope you guys are just as excited as I am for this upcoming game, as this will most definitely be my most anticipated game of this year. Meanwhile, I've still got some more retrospectives to cover on the Tales series and Project Crosszone series. But I will be getting back into some Xeno content, especially around August, because not only is this year the 5-year anniversary of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it is also the 5-year anniversary of this channel. So I'll be very excited to do some anniversary content come August of this year. So stay tuned to that. Until then, I will see you guys later.